I can have anyone I want. Her words knocked me out of my rut. Late nights, excuses. I hired a detective, and he found her with him. It all started with a simple comment, one that didn't seem like much at the time but would haunt me later. I had been dating Chloe for nearly a year when the conversation turned to hall passes. If you're not familiar with the term, it's a joke couples sometimes make about which celebrity they would be allowed to sleep with, no questions asked. It's all in good fun, a lighthearted way to joke about desire in a relationship, right? But Chloe's response was different. Her hall pass was Justin Timberlake. Sure, I get it, he's charming, talented, good-looking. No big deal. Then came the line that changed everything. I don't think there are many celebrities who would say no to me, she said, smirking like she knew something I didn't. It was a harmless joke, I told myself. But the words stuck with me. There was something in the way she said it, something that didn't sit right in my gut. It wasn't just that she was stunning, which I already knew. It was the way she said it, as if she knew her beauty gave her an unspoken power over men, as if she was the one in control of every room she entered. I laughed it off, but something inside me shifted. I wasn't a jealous guy, not by nature. I trusted Chloe, or at least, I thought I did. But that moment, it was the first crack in the facade. Something in me began to wonder if she truly believed she could have anyone she wanted. What did that mean for me? At first, I told myself it was nothing. I couldn't be one of those paranoid boyfriends, could I? I wasn't the insecure type. She was just joking, right? But then things started to change. Late nights became routine. Chloe, who had always been punctual, started coming home later and later. I didn't think much of it at first. Work got busy, she said. But soon the excuses started to sound hollow. Ran into an old friend, she'd say, or lost track of time. The first time it happened, I brushed it off. The second time, I got a little uncomfortable. And by the third time, I knew something was off. I asked her about it, cautiously, but she snapped at me. Why do you always have to question everything I do? Can't you just trust me? I didn't want to fight, so I dropped it. But it gnawed at me. Every time she came home late, my suspicions grew. She became more irritable when I asked simple questions, like how her day went. She'd deflect, get defensive, claim I was being controlling. And still, I didn't push it. I was trying to be the understanding boyfriend. Then came the night I couldn't ignore it anymore. I was sitting on the couch, scrolling through my phone, when Chloe walked in a full hour late. The usual excuses followed. But there was something different in her eyes. She wasn't her usual self. She was distracted. I could see it in the way she avoided my gaze. And then, the lie slipped out. She told me she had been having drinks with an old coworker. That's when I knew. She was lying. I couldn't explain it, but I could feel it. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. The air felt thick, suffocating. I had to know the truth. I couldn't go on like this. So, I decided to act. I wasn't going to sit around wondering if she was cheating on me. I needed proof. I needed to know if I was just being paranoid or if I was right to feel this way. I hired a private investigator. As the days passed, I couldn't focus on anything. Work became a blur. Sleep didn't come easy. And Chloe? She kept coming home later and later, each excuse wearing thinner than the last. But the investigator was on the case. The truth was coming. And I couldn't decide if I was ready to hear it. The days after I hired the investigator dragged on like a slow, painful countdown. I barely slept. Every time I heard the front door creak open, my heart would race. Every time Chloe came home late, I'd stare at her, trying to read her expression, looking for any sign that would give her away. But she was good at hiding it. Too good. I tried to distract myself, focusing on work, but my mind kept wandering. How many times had she been late now? 3 times this week alone. Every night the same tired excuses, I ran into a friend, or traffic was horrible. She was lying, and I knew it. But I still had no proof. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was about to uncover something that would destroy me. My gut told me this wasn't just a little mistake or misunderstanding. This was something bigger. Something darker. I couldn't keep waiting forever. I needed the truth. And that's why I had reached out to the investigator. He said he'd need a week to get all the information, but it felt like a lifetime. Every minute felt like an eternity. Then, on the 10th day, the call came. It was late in the afternoon. I had just finished a grueling day at work when my phone buzzed. The private investigator's number flashed on the screen. My hands trembled as I answered. Mr. Keith, the investigator's voice was calm, professional. Too calm. I have the information you requested. I felt a cold wave of dread wash over me. What did you find? He paused for a moment, a long, deliberate pause. I could tell he was carefully choosing his words. Your suspicions were correct. I gripped the phone tighter. My throat felt dry. What do you mean? There's more going on here than just late nights, he said. I've been following your fiancée, Chloe. I've got the details. It's not just a casual thing. She's been seeing someone else. My stomach churned. I could barely hear his words over the rush of blood in my ears. What do you mean, seeing someone else? I have photos, he replied. She's been meeting him at an apartment. I've been tracking her movements for the last 10 days. Every time she said she was out late, she was with him. I felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. This was it. The confirmation I had been dreading. But I needed to hear more. I needed to know who this guy was. What else? I demanded, my voice more forceful than I intended. Who is he? The investigator paused again. His name is Cody. I have his details as well. He lives in the apartment complex on Maple Avenue. I could feel a cold knot tightening in my chest. Cody. A name I would never forget. I need proof, I said, struggling to keep my voice steady. Can you give me everything? Pictures? Videos? I want to see it for myself. There was a brief silence. Then the investigator spoke again. I've got everything you need. I've sent the files to your email. You can look at the photos yourself. I was barely listening anymore. My mind was already racing ahead. Cody. He had been with her. They'd kissed. Embraced. All of it. And I had been sitting here, trusting her, believing her excuses. She had been lying to my face. I didn't say goodbye to the investigator. I just hung up the phone. I was numb. I spent the next few minutes staring blankly at my phone, trying to breathe, trying to wrap my head around everything. The photos. The truth. My life, crumbling before my eyes. But I couldn't back down now. I had to see it all. I had to face the truth, no matter how painful it was. I opened my email and found the message from the investigator. The subject line read, "Your requested files, Chloe and Cody." My hands were shaking as I clicked on it. There they were. The photos. I clicked on the first one. It was Chloe, standing outside an apartment building, her smile wide and carefree, as if she had no care in the world. She was holding hands with a man, Cody. His face wasn't familiar, but there was no doubt it was him. They were close, too close. She looked so different in the photos. So at ease, so free. It hurt to look at. In the next photo, they were kissing. A full, passionate kiss in front of her car. There was no denying it now. I had seen it with my own eyes. She had betrayed me. I scrolled through more pictures. More images of them together. In front of the apartment. Walking hand in hand through the city. Laughing, smiling, like everything was fine. I could barely stomach the sight of it. I thought about confronting her right then and there, but something stopped me. I had been betrayed, humiliated, but now I needed to be smart about this. This wasn't about a heated argument or screaming at her. No, I wanted to end this, and I needed to do it with control. I had the proof. I had everything I needed. And I wasn't going to let her get away with it. The realization hit me like a punch to the gut. Chloe wasn't just the woman I loved. She was a stranger. A liar. A cheater. And now, I had to decide how to confront her. Would I forgive her, or was this the end? I couldn't sit still. My mind was a storm of emotions, betrayal, anger, disbelief, but also this strange, cold clarity. I had the truth now. There was no denying it. But now what? What was I supposed to do with it? How was I supposed to look at Chloe, the woman I had built my future with, the one I thought I knew, after all this? I couldn't just let it go. I couldn't pretend everything was fine. Not anymore. I needed to confront her. I needed her to face what she had done, and I needed to know why. But I couldn't do it just yet. I needed to breathe. To prepare. The next morning, I woke up early. The light outside was muted, gray, as if the world knew what I was about to do. My stomach was a knot of tension. I'd barely slept, and when I did, it was restless, full of fragmented dreams. I kept seeing Chloe, but she was always a little out of reach, always slipping away just as I tried to hold on. I couldn't let this moment slip through my fingers. I had to act. I didn't call her, didn't send any messages. I wasn't going to give her the chance to prepare herself. No, this was going to happen face to face. I was done being passive, done being the one who had to settle, the one who had to forgive. I was done letting her control the narrative. At 3 p.m., I got home early, my pulse pounding in my ears as I unlocked the door. The house felt colder than usual. As if it, too, was waiting for the confrontation. I didn't wait for her to come home. I didn't want to drag this out any longer. I went straight to the living room and sat down, the silence in the room heavy, suffocating. I needed to face her, and I needed to do it now. Minutes later, the door creaked open, and there she was. Chloe. She froze when she saw me sitting there. The moment felt surreal, like something out of a movie. She had no idea what was coming. Her eyes darted to me, then back to the door, as if considering making a run for it. But she stayed. Her face was pale, her lips pressed tight together, and I could see her mind working, trying to figure out why I was home, why I was sitting there like that. "Hey, you're home early," she said, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. It was weak. It was the same smile she gave me when she tried to deflect, to pretend everything was okay. I didn't say anything. I just looked at her. The silence stretched between us, thick and uncomfortable. I wasn't going to make this easy for her. Her smile faltered. "What's going on? Why are you looking at me like that?" "I know," I said, my voice steady but cold. "I know everything." Her eyes widened. "What do you mean?" I stood up slowly, my body trembling with the weight of what I was about to say. "I know about Cody. I know about the apartment. I know about the photos. I know you've been lying to me. 4 weeks, 4 months, Chloe. For how long, exactly?" Her mouth opened and closed, her breath quickening, but she didn't say anything. She couldn't find the words. "I hired a private investigator," I continued, stepping closer. I felt something inside me snap, like a dam breaking, releasing all the anger and hurt I had been holding in. "I know where you've been going, who you've been seeing. I have the proof." Her face shifted, but not with guilt. It was more like a realization. Like she knew she was caught, but she wasn't going to apologize. She wasn't going to beg. Instead, she did something I wasn't prepared for. She laughed. It wasn't a nervous laugh. It wasn't an embarrassed laugh. It was cold. Arrogant. "You think you've got me figured out," she sneered, folding her arms across her chest. "Is that it? You think you've got all the answers?" I froze. The word stung, but what shocked me more was the way she said it. It was like she didn't care. Like she wasn't even remotely sorry. I thought I'd misheard her. "I don't think you understand," she said, her voice suddenly sharp. "I never needed you, Keith. I never needed anyone. You were just convenient. I was bored. I wanted more. And now you're acting like the injured party here?" My chest tightened. "What the hell are you talking about? You don't get it, do you?" she continued, stepping closer. "You think I care about your little investigation? Your evidence? You think it matters? You'll never find anyone like me again, you know. Not after what we've had. You'll never get someone as good as me." I was paralyzed. The audacity, the complete lack of remorse, it was like she had no conscience. It was like she didn't even see me as a person anymore. She wasn't begging. She wasn't apologizing. She was dismissing me. As if I didn't matter. And that's when it hit me. I had been so focused on the betrayal, so focused on the affair, that I had ignored the real issue. She didn't value me. She never had. She had never seen me as her equal. She had always looked down on me, treating me like I was a placeholder, someone to keep around until someone better came along. I had been nothing but a safety net for her. "I can't believe you," I whispered, the words barely escaping my lips. "I can't believe you think this is okay. That you think you can do this to me." She smirked, stepping back and flipping her hair over her shoulder. "You'll come crawling back eventually. They always do. That was it. The final straw." Her words cut deeper than anything else. The realization of who she really was, who she had always been, hit me like a brick wall. I wasn't going to be her backup plan anymore. I wasn't going to beg her for love, for loyalty, for anything. "I'm done," I said, each word cutting through the air. "I'm done with you. And I'm done with this. Don't bother trying to fix it." Her face twisted, as if she was expecting me to plead, expecting me to beg her to reconsider. But I didn't. I walked out the door, not looking back. As I left, a strange sense of peace washed over me. But was I making a huge mistake? Had I truly walked away from the woman I thought I loved, or was I finally standing up for myself? I thought walking away from Chloe would be easy. I thought that once I slammed the door behind me, the weight of her betrayal would lift. But as I walked down the street, my mind kept playing the scene over and over again. Her face, her smug smile, the way she acted like everything was just a game. The audacity. I was numb, but underneath it, there was this boiling anger. This fury that I couldn't shake. I didn't know whether to scream, cry, or just shut down completely. I ended up at a cheap motel that night. I didn't have anywhere else to go. The apartment felt too suffocating, and I couldn't bear to stay in the house where I just confronted the woman I thought I would spend the rest of my life with. The motel room was small and smelled faintly of stale cigarette smoke, but I didn't care. I was too numb to care about anything. I threw my bag on the bed and sank into the chair by the window, staring at the city lights outside, feeling completely lost. What now? The silence of the room echoed, reminding me of how alone I felt. But this wasn't the first time I'd been alone. It was just the first time I'd felt truly alone. Not because of the physical absence of someone, but because I'd been living a lie for so long. The next few days passed in a blur. I barely slept. I hardly ate. I spent the entire time thinking about everything that had happened. My life had fallen apart in a way I couldn't have anticipated. But even worse, I started questioning everything I had ever believed about Chloe, about love, about myself. Had I been so blind? Had I really been living in a fantasy? I tried calling my friends, but I couldn't bring myself to talk to them. I wasn't ready for their sympathy or their "you'll find someone better" speeches. I wasn't ready for the usual platitudes that came with a breakup. I just needed to feel for a while, feel the pain, feel the anger. A week passed, and the texts from Chloe kept coming. At first, they were angry and dismissive, as if I had just thrown a tantrum. Then they became desperate. "You can't just leave me. You don't understand, Keith. I need you." But the one that really got me was the last one. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean for things to go this way. I made a mistake. Please, just talk to me." I stared at the message for a long time. The apology felt hollow, like it was a desperate attempt to salvage whatever she thought was left between us. But the truth was, there was nothing left. She had shown me who she was, and I had seen enough. I didn't respond. Instead, I blocked her number and shut down all communication. I couldn't go back. I couldn't let her in anymore. Not after what she had done. I was still a wreck, though. There was no denying that. My mind kept replaying the same scenes over and over again. The fights. The lies. The betrayal. But there was also this other part of me that was starting to wake up, starting to feel like I was finally free. For the first time in what felt like forever, I was making my own decisions. I wasn't being manipulated or controlled by someone else's lies. I was choosing for myself. But it wasn't easy. The memories of Chloe, the good and the bad, haunted me. The life we almost had, the future we'd planned. I went through the motions, trying to piece myself back together. I buried myself in work, buried myself in distractions, anything to keep my mind from drifting back to her. But the worst part? The part one hadn't expected, the part one never saw coming, was how much I hated myself for not seeing the signs sooner. How did I not notice the cracks in our relationship? How did I not see the way she had been pulling away from me, building walls around herself while I just kept pushing forward, believing everything was fine? The shame was suffocating. I wasn't the type to make rash decisions. I wasn't the type to let my emotions rule me. But Chloe had made me feel like I wasn't enough, like I was just a placeholder in her life. And no matter how hard I tried to move past it, that sting never went away. I decided to take a break. A real one. No more distractions. No more running from the truth. I needed to do something for myself. And that's when I remembered Veronica. Veronica. The girl from my high school reunion. I hadn't thought about her much since the reunion, but her message kept popping into my mind. The way her friend had told me Veronica had a crush on me all those years ago. I dismissed it at first, but now? Now I was curious. I wasn't looking for another relationship, especially not right after everything with Chloe. But there was something about Veronica that felt different. She seemed genuine, funny, and down to earth. She wasn't like Chloe, who always had a way of making me feel small and insignificant. No, Veronica made me feel like I mattered. I didn't want to jump into anything, but I decided to reach out to her. When I texted Veronica, I had no idea where it would lead. Was I ready to move on? Or was I just trying to fill the void Chloe had left? Would Veronica be the person I needed, or was I chasing something I couldn't have? I spent the next few days trying to clear my head. The nights were the hardest, as I'd lie awake staring at the ceiling, my mind buzzing with thoughts of Chloe, of Veronica, of everything that had gone wrong in my life. It was a constant battle between the past and the future, the bitter reality of what had happened and the uncertain hope of what could be. I wasn't sure if reaching out to Veronica was a good idea. She was beautiful, successful, and seemed like someone who had her life together. But I wasn't looking for another Chloe. I wasn't looking for someone who would make me feel like I was inadequate or that I needed to prove myself. I just wanted someone real. Someone who saw me for who I was, not for what I could do for them. But as the days passed, I couldn't stop thinking about her. I decided to take the plunge, so I messaged her on Instagram. I was casual, nothing too intense. I didn't want to overwhelm her with my baggage. I just wanted to see where things could go. Hey Veronica, I hope you're doing well. It's been a while since the reunion, but I've been thinking about our conversation. If you're free sometime, I'd love to catch up. I didn't expect her to respond right away, but to my surprise, she replied the next day. Hey Keith, I'm glad to hear from you. I'd love to catch up. Let me know when you're free. We set up a time to talk on the phone, and I felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. I hadn't let anyone in since Chloe, and the thought of possibly starting something new, something real, was both thrilling and terrifying. We spoke for hours, just talking about life, our careers, our hopes, and our struggles. Veronica wasn't what I expected. She wasn't some aloof model who cared more about her looks than anything else. No, she was down-to-earth, funny, and so easy to talk to. It was refreshing. It felt like I could breathe again, like I could be myself without the weight of the world on my shoulders. I started to feel something I hadn't felt in a long time, hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, I could move on from everything that had happened. But then, just when I started to think that things might finally be getting better, I got a message from Chloe. I almost didn't want to read it. I had blocked her, erased her from my life, but for some reason, I unblocked her number. I had to know what she wanted. Keith, I know I messed up. I've been thinking about everything, and I want to fix things. I can't believe I let you go like that. I'm so sorry. Please, just talk to me. The message hit me like a punch to the gut. It had been weeks since I'd heard from her. Weeks of healing, weeks of moving forward, and now here she was, trying to reel me back in. I didn't respond right away. I couldn't. My head was spinning. Chloe had already made her choice. She had shown me who she was, and I wasn't about to fall for her manipulation again. But what if she really had changed? What if she was being sincere? I threw my phone on the bed and paced the room. I needed to talk to someone. I called my best friend, Sean. He picked up immediately. Dude, what's up? He asked, his voice full of concern. I got a message from Chloe, I said, pacing faster now, trying to make sense of my thoughts. She's sorry. She wants me back. And I don't know what to do. Sean was quiet for a moment, then he spoke. Keith, listen to me. You've been through hell with her. Don't let her drag you back into the same cycle. You've already moved on. You deserve better than someone who treated you like that. Don't forget how she made you feel. Don't forget who she is. I paused, his words sinking in. It was true. I had been through hell with Chloe. And I had spent enough time in that dark place. I wasn't going back. I couldn't. I know, man. You're right, I said, my voice steady. I'm done with her. I'm done trying to fix something that's already broken. The next morning, I woke up with a clear mind. The weight of Chloe's message was gone. I had made my decision. I wasn't going to let her into my life again. I texted her back. Chloe, I appreciate your apology, but it's too late. I'm moving forward, and I'm not looking back. I hope you find what you're looking for, but it's not with me. I blocked her again and threw my phone across the room, as if physically distancing myself from her would finally give me the closure I needed. It wasn't about revenge. It wasn't about holding on to anger. It was about freeing myself from the chains she had wrapped around me. I wasn't her safety net anymore. I wasn't her second choice. I was finally free. Just as I started to feel like I had control over my life again, my phone buzzed once more. It was a message from Veronica. The message that would change everything.